Giving Trump a chance simply means that you're open-minded enough to allow the new administration to do its job and to succeed or fail on its own terms. Ironically, the failure to give Trump a chance has largely fueled his success.
We know enough to know what to prepare for. And the action of asking you to withhold your judgment is an action that asks you to waste time in uncertainty when it is time to act to storm-proof the Republic and the Constitution against the most dangerous occupant of the office in American history.
Now, give him a chance doesn't mean give him carte blanche. It just means keep an open mind. Oppose him when he's wrong. We ought to acknowledge the possibility that he might do some good things, even that he might in the end be a good president.
We all know what's happened. No president in a century has installed an administration this extreme. A chief strategist who previously ran a white nationalist website. And no president in the beginning of his administration has provoked a constitutional crisis 1 week in.
I would like to know if they had any of these concerns when Barack Obama was president and was attacking our civil rights under the First Amendment by getting into a lawsuit with nuns about contraception, attacking religious liberty by telling people that if they did not violate their conscience, they should close their businesses.
They allow that there is, at some point before voting day 2020, where you're allowed to conclude that Donald Trump is dangerous. Is it 2 weeks out? 3 weeks out? 4 weeks out? How much stealing is too much? How many attacks on a free press are one attack on the free press too many? And our argument would be, you already know all of those things.
We're asking people to keep an open mind about what comes next. Don't suspend judgment about what he's already done. But he's there now. What I want to know from you is what purpose is served by resolving and agreeing not to give him a chance. Think about the message that sends to the people who voted for him. Ask whether it's likely to persuade them to change their minds, which is what you should be aiming to do.
The magnitude of what is being attempted compels that checks and balances be called into effect. I just reject the idea that the only person with a Democratic mandate happens to be the president. Those who were opposed to him, who were elected, also have a mandate.
There are people who are from all walks of life, all around the country, who resent being told that the person that they supported to undo the last years of an assault on our Constitution, whether you agree with it or not, their candidate that they elected to the presidency, who is all of our president, should not even be given a chance.
Here's a practical question for us. Shall we have an independent commission with subpoena power to find out what the Russians did in the American election? Yes or no? Now, the practical effect of to say give them a chance is to say we will never know the answer to that question, or at any rate, we'll leave it to the historians long after the administration is gone.
I pressed exactly the opposite point. We need the checks and balances, and with a president like Trump, we need them more than we've ever needed them before. A lot of what I think differentiates our position from the other side is that we appear to have more trust in the Constitution. Checks and balances of the system are there and they're working. They're already working. The civil service is resisting. Judges are ruling against him.
We need to take issues as they come and resist in real time. The civil servants who we just heard were gloriously able to resist and gloriously able to protest. As you probably know, there's something called the dissent channel in the State Department. The dissent channel is required to have no retribution. Sean Spicer, the press secretary, said they can get with the program or get out. These are real challenges, not only to the laws, not only to the Constitution, but to the norms of how our democracy and how our system have to work.
I'll just say briefly, I think the Trump cabinet, at least at senior positions, looks relatively normal. The White House is the cantina from Star Wars. It's as if the interview question is, do the people you know tell you whatever else you do, you should never work in government? If the answer to that question is yes, you're hired.
If you look at the people, the men and women that he selected to put into his administration, people of expertise in areas that he does not have in foreign policy and military strategy, I think that should encourage you when thinking about our proposition here to give Trump a chance And that should just, I think, give more comfort to everyone that he has picked people who are proven patriots, proven leaders, and men and women who have decided to sacrifice, put their lives on the line.
It probably gave the men and women in uniform less confidence when they kicked the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff off the Principals Committee of the National Security Council.
Okay. We can give up on democracy and say it no longer works, or we can agree that something has gone wrong and ask how to fix it. The common factor in the US and Britain, wherever populism is on the rise, is a political establishment that has ignored or disdained a large segment of the population. So vote for our side to give democracy a chance, and vote for their side if you want 8 years of Trump unbound.
There are no checks, there are no balances, there are only people. There are only people meeting their responsibilities as citizens or failing to meet their responsibilities as citizens. The proponents of this debate again and again are urging you not to know what you already know.
I know what it is like to not be given a chance. The hearing took place about a month and a half after the Newtown shooting. I shared with the senators that guns make women safer and reverse the balance of power in a violent confrontation. I wanted the senators to hear this common sense point before they enacted sweeping restrictions of our civil rights. I was physically threatened and I was verbally harassed. Perhaps that very personal experience makes me particularly willing to ask you to give President Trump a chance.
Madison and his fellow framers were really, really worried about a moment like this, about a strong man, about someone like Cromwell. When Ben Franklin left that last day, he went out, and a woman asked him, "Well, what is it, Dr. Franklin, a monarchy or a republic?" He said, "A republic, madam, if you can keep it. We all have to keep it."